I came to the Smokies after being to Costa Rica, and I was on Husky Gap Trail. And I saw this little brown feather next to a log, a lonely feather. Once I saw a feather near a trail in the park, should I take it or should I take it not? And that was the question. It was only a lonely feather, but then is the park a park with all its parts together? So at the end of the day, with a smile on my face, I took only memories and left not a trace.
I inherently believe that the people will get what they want. And if they know that there's a problem and they want it fixed, that word will get to their elected officials and changes will be made.
For months, I request appointments to meet with the park's biggest proponent, Senator Alexander. He doesn't respond. 2 weeks before going to Washington, I make a last-ditch effort and succeed in scheduling an appointment to talk with his environmental issues liaison. After waiting in his office for half an hour, they advise me she is too busy, then provide me with a staff member who doesn't know where the Smokies are. I ask them what's the deal with the pollution. They only seem to know. It's this person. No, it's that person. When you go talk to this person, well, they're not in right now because they're doing this. What do you need to have access to these people? Before leaving, they promised me the environmental issues liaison will call later that day so we can still meet before we leave Washington. So far, however, I haven't heard from them. The real issue is there's no leaves on the money tree anymore. A few hours pass before another no cameras, no recorders appointment with my representative staff, and this time it's my fault we're late. At first, it seems like the staffer is about to lead us into the hall, but then something magical happens, and he leads us inside the Honorable Heath Schuler's office. Wow is my first impression. I think for once, we might actually get to say something to a man of the people, but instead, it's the only vacant room.
I don't know what to say other than, I feel like half a citizen after having come up here and seen what goes on. Perhaps that's the wrong thing to say. I only try and reflect what I've really seen. There's nothing in the works for any of them to clean up the Smokies.
My last day in Washington, I met with National Park Service staff to talk about air pollution and the fate of the Smokies. They told me we might not always do our best. So out of a long list of government and elected officials, it seemed somehow fitting then that the only person I am allowed to interview asked me.
I'm not sure what you're asking us to do.
We're probably not doing enough to try to save some of this for future generations.
Whether it's good enough or not isn't my decision.
There have been times where there's been movements to do more, and people have, spoken out and had some changes made. But on a whole, I don't think that we're doing what we should.
Those improvements are expensive to make and take time.
There's more that can be done. More people need to know the urgency of it.
I think it's probably done the most efficient way that can be given the realities of the situation economically and politically.
If you stand by and do nothing, it's as much your fault as the person who's doing it. There's no excuse for doing nothing.
What about laziness?
Well, that's a human failure right there. Laziness and not caring. Well, somebody else can do something about it.
Yeah, save the Smokies.